Hey, welcome to your practice. Our class today is going to be moving in the direction of forearm stand. That being said, the class is designed in a way that regardless of if you want to move to a forearm stand or not, you'll still receive something from this practice. It's a challenging and fun flow, and though we are moving in that specific direction, a majority of our time is just tools that will help to build strength in your body, help to connect you to your heart and your mind, and to give you just 60 minutes of deep connection with yourself. So we'll start in Shavasana on your back body when you're ready. Go ahead and lie back and get comfortable. If you prefer a different shape to begin in, like seated meditation, child's pose, feel free to start there, but we'll be moving eventually from the earth. And on your back body, if it feels better to have your legs long, great. If it feels best to have your knees bent like a fallen bridge, feel free to knock your knees to center. If you'd like to open your hips, feel free to find your Supine Katasana, reclined butterfly pose. But wherever you begin your practice, give yourself a moment to close your eyes, to turn all of your attention towards the movement of your breath. Allow the movement of your breath to begin the process of clearing away any distractions and clutter from your mind space. Allow your inhales to grow a little bit fuller and wider. And start to stretch your exhalations out so they're long and steady and complete. With the rise of each breath in, the fall of each breath out, as you settle into the support of the earth below. Can you trust that you can do hard things? And that on the other side of challenge comes growth. When we explore the edges, we start to expand, both in our physical strength and space, but also in the deeper layers of our hearts and our minds. So allowing an individual intention to move forward. And everything beyond this moment to fade back. Hold that intention right at the forefront and take a really deep breath in through your nose. Maybe an open mouth exhale to release. Again, breathe in through your nose. And clearing exhale all the way to empty. And just one more at your pace. Breathe in fully. And exhale out completely. And let that same fullness stay in your breath as you shift to Ujjayi Pranayama. Inhales, exhales, travel through your nose and across the back of your throat. So your breath is like ocean waves that flood through your body, bringing nourishment, energy, clarity to your practice and to the moment. You slowly start to reach your hands up and overhead, lengthen your legs out if they're not already. So you find this full body stretch, take an extra breath in. And then exhale, start to bring your knees into your body and just take a little rock from side to side. Notice what's moving through your heart and your mind in this moment. Breathe into the back of your body. And exhale your knees to the left into a gentle twist. You might let your gaze tip over to the right. Then just take 2 cycles of breath along your right side body. After your second exhale, start to bring your knees back to center. And allow your knees to tip over to the right. Gentle twist second side. Maybe your gaze spills to the left. And again, reach 2 cycles of breath through your side body. Feel the sensation of that stretch from the inside out. The sensation of your exhale as it settles you a little bit deeper into that rotation and twist of your spine. And this time when we bring our knees back to center, we'll set up for a bridge pose. So knees bent, place your feet to the earth, heels stacked beneath your knees. Begin to root down with your feet and begin to lift your hips up to the sky. For our bridges today, we're going to take what I call robot arms. So your triceps are going to be on the earth, parallel to your spine, the long edges of your yoga mat. Fingertips to the sky, palms facing inward. Maybe even imagine like you're holding a yoga block between your hands. You might tuck your shoulder blades a little bit closer together if you feel like you have a little bit more space across your chest and through your heart. And then as you root down with your feet, feel that energetic root to rise sensation through your hips. Draw your navel to your spine, but simultaneously reach your knees and your tailbone towards the front of your yoga mat to create length through your entire body. One more breath in. And exhale, slowly lengthen and lower all the way down to the earth. As your hips land, extend your left leg up to the sky for a hamstring stretch and interlace your hands behind your left leg. You can have some softness through your knee. Do a couple of rounds of point and flex through your left ankle. And a piece of our forearm stand that becomes really helpful, but is maybe talked about less in our shoulder space and strength and core strength, is our hamstring space, right? So as you breathe into your hamstrings, stretch your left heel up to the sky. And on your exit, you're going to take your robot arms again. So 90-degree bend through your elbows. You push down with your right foot and begin to lift your hips up into a one-legged bridge pose. Just notice how that feels. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, lower your hips down to the earth. All right, we'll revisit that in a little bit. Bend your left knee, place your left foot to the ground. And just a simple switch, send your right leg up to the sky, interlace your hands behind your right thigh. And point and flex your right ankle. Awareness reaches through your right leg. Breathe into the back of your right leg. And start to extend your right heel up to the sky. Start to find your robot arms again as you push down into the earth with your left foot. Press your right heel up to the ceiling and start to lift your hips into your one-legged bridge. Try to find the evenness through your hip points. So try to keep your right hip just as high as your left. Core is strong. Your hips might not be as high as they are in your traditional bridge, but finding that balance between your hip points. Tailbone reaches forward. Take one more inhale. And exhale, lower your hips to the ground. Bend both of your knees to a 90-degree bend, so you're in an upside down tabletop. Right, knees stacked above your hip points and shins parallel to the earth. And you can just let your left palm reach down to the earth beside the left side of your yoga mat. Take your right hand behind your head, elbow wide. Start to pull your navel to your spine so your low back is connected to the earth. And then doing your best to keep your right knee exactly at 90 the whole time. We're going to inhale, lengthen our left leg forward towards a hover. And exhale, bend your left knee towards your body. Leading with your sternum, lift your head and shoulders and twist your right elbow towards your left thigh. And same thing, so inhale, left leg lengthens to a hover, open your heart through center. Head and shoulders can hover or tap the earth. Exhale, left knee in, twist your right elbow across. One more like this. Inhale, left leg goes long, open your heart through center. And exhale, bend and twist. And now this time, inhale, lengthen your leg long, open your heart through center. Reach your right hand overhead like a full body stretch. On your exhale, lift your left leg up to the sky, straight up. Keep your leg long. Reach your right fingertips towards your left toes. Need 2 more like that. Breathe your left leg to a hover. Reach your right fingertips overhead. Exhale, left leg stays long. Lift and reach your right fingertips across towards your left toes. Now one more time. Inhale, lower, open. Exhale to lift and reach. Good. Bend your left knee. Your head and shoulders drop back. As you reset the 90-degree through your legs, take your right palm to the earth beside you and your left hand behind your head, elbow wide. Reset through your core, navel to spine, front arms knit down. Start to breathe your right leg forward to a hover. On your out breath, bend your right knee to your body and twist your left elbow across. Try to isolate this into your core, relax your neck. And inhale to lengthen and open. Then exhale, contract and twist closed. And one more time like this. Inhale, lengthen, open, left thigh nice and stable. Exhale, bend and twist. Now start to send your right leg lower. Reach your left hand long overhead with your breath. Slowly keeping your right leg straight, lift your right toes to the ceiling. Lift your head and shoulders, left fingertips extend towards right toes. Okay, 2 more. Inhale, find the length through right leg, left arm. Exhale, everything lifts up, right leg, left arm. Last time here, breathe in, lower, open. And exhale to lift and reach. And release, relax, knees to chest. And hands to your shins if you circle your knees or take a little bit of a rock from side to side. Breath through your nose and out of your mouth. We have one more little core engagement we'll take on our back bodies before we start to rise up. So place your feet back to the earth like a bridge setup. And send your left leg up to the sky like we did before. Take your left palm to the earth just beside you and take your right elbow behind your head. Or right hand behind your head, elbow wide rather. As you push through your right foot, begin to lift your hips into your one-legged bridge pose. Pull your navel tight to your spine and try to bring your hip points to even. Flex your left foot, reach your tailbone energetically forward. You're gonna feel your right glute and hamstring light up a lot. At any point, if you need to lower your hips and do the same movement with your hips on the ground, that's totally fine. And otherwise, start to keep your hips lifted and lower your left leg about halfway down. Maybe a little bit further. Make sure your belly takes this on rather than your low back. Exhale, bend your left knee to your body and twist your right elbow across. Then inhale, lengthen your left leg long, open your heart through center. Exhale, bend your left knee and twist your right elbow across to drive through your right foot. And one more like this. Inhale, lengthen, open. And exhale, bend and twist. Bridge pose, place your left foot to the earth. Robot your arms, lift your hips. One breath in. Lower your pelvis down as you breathe out. Either pause in stillness or take a couple slow windshield wipers from side to side. And then we're going to set up for our second side. So again, bring your heels to stack below your knees. Right leg extends towards the ceiling. Right palm to the earth and left palm behind your head, left elbow wide. Push through your left foot. Through your shoulder blades, lift your hips. Extend energy up through your right heel to lift your right hip point square with your left. As you pull your belly to your spine, reach your tailbone forward. And imagine you have like a yoga block in between your upper thighs, inner upper thighs. So to breathe your right leg about halfway down, maybe a little bit lower, keeping your hip points even the whole time. Exhale, bend your right knee and push strong through your left foot as you twist. 2 more. Inhale to lengthen, open, hips stay lifted, or you can drop them to the earth. Exhale, bend and twist. One more time. Inhale, find your extension. Keep breathing. I know it's spicy. Exhale, bend and twist. To bridge pose, place your right foot to the earth, roll out your arms, lift your hips. Take one deep breath in. And exhale, tailbone forward as you lower down. And pause in stillness, so take a couple slow windshield wipers. Knees tip from left to right, back and forth. And eventually start to bring your knees into your chest, and then rock and roll forward and back until you find your tabletop pose, all fours. Your tabletop, first just spread your fingers open. Squeeze your finger pads so you feel some engagement travel up your arms. See if you can take some of the weight from the heels of your hands more to the fronts of your palms. And that inner edge where thumb and pointer finger are. Inhale to your cow shape, lift through your heart, lift through your tail. And exhale to your cat spine, round the back of your heart to the sky. Let your head fall between your biceps and push the earth down and away from you. And inhale to your cow shape, lift through your heart, lift through your tail. And then exhale, walk your hands forward and melt your heart to your yoga mat on a Katasana. Keep your hips high as you dive your chest low. Take a slow breath into the back of your heart space. On your exhale, you're going to bend your elbows towards prayer at the nape of your neck. Walk your elbows in a little bit closer to your skull. And then instead of just letting your heart melt to the earth, start to push down with your elbows. Pull your front ribs up and in, zip up through your core, and lift your heart up away from the ground a little bit. Try to find neutral through your spine, so along to the nape of your neck and the front of your neck. As you root down with your elbows, energetically drag your elbows in the direction of your knees. Your navel pulled in tight. If you want to, if you have the strength, maybe start to spread your palms away from one another. Keep that rootedness through your elbows and the zip up through your front line. Right, slowly release your hands forward. Look forward, check that your forearms are like two parallel lines. Then begin to bend at your elbows. Bring your shoulders to stack above your elbows and walk your feet back into a forearm plank. Now in your forearm plank, you can always drop your knees to the earth. We're going to be moving on from here, so it's available, knees lifted, walk your feet about hips distance apart. Pull your navel in, and again, make sure your elbows are stacked right beneath your shoulders. Push down with your forearms. Your right forearm is going to stay as it is. Turn all 10 toes to the left. Reach your left hand to the sky. So you're in a forearm side plank on your right forearm. The outside edge of your right foot, the inside edge of your left foot. Push down into the earth to cinch your hips up and away from the ground. Now listen, you're going to take a breath in here. On your exhale, take your left hand, your left palm to the earth. You're going to rise up to a full side plank to face the opposite direction. So on your left palm, side plank to face the right side of the room. Vashisthasana, right hand to the sky. And push the earth away to cinch your hips up and away from the ground. Feel your left obliques, your side body, big breath in. High plank pose, come back to center on your exhale. Shift forward on your in-breath. Knees up or down, slowly lower to your belly with your out-breath. Untuck through your toes. Inhale to your low cobra, lift to the back of your heart space. And on your exhale, lower down. Inhale to a low or maybe a high cobra. Feel your triceps activate as you hug your elbows in. Shoulders out of ears, and exhale to release. And last one here, inhale to a cobra, or option to go up to your upward facing dog. Long arms, lift your thighs. Gently hug your heels just slightly to the midline as you pull your navel in. And slowly find your way back to downward facing dog. Maybe using your belly strength to pike your pelvis to the sky. And take a moment here to pedal through your feet. Maybe allow some softness to move into your knees. Relax the weight of your skull between your upper arms, but try to keep a buoyancy underneath your armpits. Just like you did in your tabletop, move the weight from the heels of your hands or to the fronts of your palms and squeeze your finger pads. With your next breath in, lift your heels up high. On your exhale, like a cat spine, roll forward like a wave to high plank pose. From your high plank pose, drop your knees to the earth. Keep your hips stacked above your knees and walk your hands forward, heart melting pose, Katasana. Take a breath in and take a breath out. This time, right away, look forward. Check that your forearms are 2 parallel lines, shoulders distance apart. Bend at your elbows. Bring your shoulders to stack above your elbows. Fingers wide. 2 parallel lines. You're going to step back into your forearm plank. So notice if your hands start to kind of fall towards the midline, your elbows start to widen. We're really working towards that number 11 with our forearms today. With your feet about hips distance apart, push the earth away, pull your navel in. Think about hugging the elbows of your hands, your arms to your toes. Turn all 10 toes to the right and reach your right forearm to the sky. So you're in a forearm side plank on your left forearm. Little Fin here is trying to be helpful, but he's mostly just in the way. Take a breath in. Now trying to keep your hips stable, start to climb up to a side plank to face the opposite direction. You're taking your right hand to the earth. Push down with your right hand, turn all 10 toes to the left, and reach your left hand at the sky. And take a big breath in. Exhale, high plank pose through center. On your next in-breath, begin to shift forward. Knees up or down, lower halfway or all the way. Then open your heart up, downward Cobra, deep breath in. And exhale to your downward facing dog, hips go high to the sky. Then take an inhale. And then take an exhale. From your downward facing dog, you start to inhale your right leg up to the ceiling. On your exhale, square your hip. So turn your right toes and your right hip point towards the ground. Notice how that feels through your left leg. Squeeze the imaginary block between your inner upper thighs and take one more breath in. And exhale, knee to nose. 3-legged dog. Inhale your right leg to the sky. And exhale, step your right foot forward in between your thumbs. Okay. From your low lunge, let your left knee hover, take a cow lunge. Stretch your chest through your biceps. Reach your left knee towards your left toes. And an extra inhale here. Then lengthen your legs on your exhale to your cat lunge, hamstring stretch. And give yourself an extra breath here. Then you bend into your front knee. Push down with your right foot. Find that root to rise energy, standing splits left leg to the sky. So you can have a decent amount of softness to your right knee, especially since it's pretty early in practice. Take a breath in. On your exhale, go ahead and find a Shiva squat. Bend and tap. And then push down with your right foot, standing splits on your inhale, that root to rise energy again. Exhale your left toes to the back of your yoga mat. Strong with your legs, high crescent lunge. Let your inhale pull you all the way up. And with your exhale, goddess your arms, let your heart open, elbows go wide. And breathe and reach to the sky, high crescent lunge. Exhale to airplane your arms, hinge your heart forward, reach your fingertips back. Lean your weight into your right foot. Push down with your right foot. Find a chair pose, step your left foot to the top of your yoga mat. And breathe in and lift your heart in your hands. And exhale, forward fold dive to the earth. Inhale will lift you up halfway. Follow your exhale to a high plank pose. Plant your hands and step your feet back. Breath in shifts you forward. Knees up or down, lower all the way to the ground, all the way to your belly. When you arrive, untuck your toes. Press your toenails and breathe to a low cobra. Lift the back of your heart space. Now we're going to walk forward to a Sphinx Pose. So walk your right forearm, then your left forearm forward. Once your elbows are stacked beneath your shoulders, push down with your forearms and pull your sternum forward as if you're trying to pull like your rib cage away from your pelvis. More space through your spine, breathe in. Now on your exhale, begin to push down with your forearms, pull your navel to your spine. Tuck your toes underneath. Zip up through your center, forearm plank. And make sure your elbows are right beneath your shoulders. And hug an imaginary block between your elbows in your forearm plank. Feet hips distance apart. Turn all 10 toes to the left like we did before. And reach your left hand to the sky. Forearm side plank. Take a breath in, feel your right side core light up. On your exhale, left hand to the earth. Full side plank to face the right side of your yoga mat. Option to lift your right leg up as you lift your right hand to the sky. Big breath in. Vinyasa or down dog. So as you come through center to your high plank, either take your chaturanga or just skip and go back to downward facing dog. And from your downward facing dog, start to breathe your left leg to the sky. On your out breath, bring the squareness through your pelvis. Your head is softened between your shoulders. Your left leg might not lift as high, but you might get a deeper sensation through your standing right leg. Take one more breath in, feel energy reach through your left leg. On your exhalation, bring your knee to your nose nice and slow. Three-legged dog, big breath in. And then place your left foot forward between your thumbs with your breath out. Let your right knee come towards a hover. Cow lunge and breathe extension through your front line. Give yourself an exhale here. An extra breath in. When you're ready, begin to lengthen your legs. Feel your hamstrings receive a little bit more space and length. Maybe your breath lengthens out too. And then bend into your front knee. Drive through your left foot. Standing splits. Pull your right toes to the sky. Relax your head to the earth. Do an energetic lift to the back of your right leg as you breathe in. Then Shiva squat, bend and tap with your breath out. Hips low, heart high. Push through your left foot into your standing splits, that root to rise sensation. And step your right toes back for your high crescent lunge. Think about plugging your left thigh bone into your pelvis as you rise up tall with your breath. And open across your chest, goddess your arms. And inhale, reach your hands to the sky. And exhale, airplane your arms, hand your heart over your left thigh. Lean your strength into your left foot. Either slide or take a big step to chair pose, Katasana. Right foot to the top of your yoga mat. Take a breath in as you lift your heart and hands. And exhale, folds us to the earth, Uttanasana, forward fold. Breathe in for your half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale to your high plank pose, step it back with control. And listen for your inhale to shift forward. Follow your exhale to lower to your belly. Pull your elbows straight back. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Untuck your toes. Breathe into your low Cobra. Navel to spine, walk into Sphinx Pose. From your low Cobra, walk your left forearm and then your right forearm forward. First, push down and pull length through your torso. Catch your breath. As you check that your elbows are stacked beneath your shoulders, begin to push down. Tuck your toes. You can always start with your knees on the earth and just lift your hips into a modified forearm plank, and then lift up the rest of the way. Listening to your body. Feet hips distance apart, turn all 10 toes to the right, and lift your right hand to the sky. Forearm side plank. Big breath in. Squeeze your inner thighs together. As you start to take your right hand, your palm to the earth, full side plank to face the opposite direction. Climb your way up. Maybe lift your left leg into the air as well. Deep breath in. Vinyasa or a down dog. Unwind with control. Take your flow or choose to skip it. And take a big breath through your nose. Maybe a clearing exhale out of your mouth. And start to inhale your right leg to the sky. Hips nice and square. On your exhale, knee to nose. Hold for your breath in. And step your right foot forward on your breath out. Maybe give it a boost. Let your left knee hover for your cow lunge on your inhale. And lengthen your legs, cat lunge on your exhale. Bend into your right knee. Standing splits left leg to the sky, breath in. Now listen, a little softness in your right knee if you need it. Okay, make sure your right knee is just not locked out, basically. You're gonna keep your left leg long. Just start to tap your left toes down towards the earth, going straight down with your left toes. Imagine someone's pushing down against your left leg as you lift your left leg back to the sky. 2 more like that. So you're gonna tap your left toes down. You're gonna add resistance as you lift your left leg back up. 1 more time, left toes tap down. Flex against your own flex. Imagine someone pushing down against your left leg as you lift. To your crescent lunge, left toes arrive to the back of your yoga mat. Root through your feet and inhale, rise all the way up. On your exhale, goddess your arms. With your in breath, reach to the sky. Out breath to airplane your arms and pause. Turn your palms face down, thumbs wide to open your chest. Make sure your front ribs are drawn in so you have that containment at your core. And gently press the backs of your hands up to the sky. So in a moment, we're going to circle sweep our hands out overhead into a reaching crescent. Our goal is for this to be like a shoulder stretch, trying to find that kind of range of motion and range of motion through our shoulders. So slowly circle sweep your hands out and around overhead. And imagine you're holding like a yoga block over your skull. Lean your weight into your right foot, and then fly into your airplane pose, push down and take off. Take a big breath in. You're gonna exhale, soften through your right knee, step back to your crescent lunge. Inhale to reach to the sky. Then exhale your hands down to the earth. Step back into your high plank pose, right foot meets your left. Inhale to shift forward. Exhale, slowly lower all the way to your belly, straight down. Untuck your toes. Breathe into your low cobra, lift your heart. To Sphinx Pose, walk your right and then left forearms forward. Push the earth away, lengthen through your spine. This time we're gonna move through a forearm plank into a dolphin pose. So as you tuck your toes, drive through your forearms, begin to zip up through your front line, lift your hips. Begin to bend your knees and walk your feet in. So think about dolphin pose as like forearm plank and down dog had a baby. You might need to walk your elbows a little bit closer to the midline so they're stacked beneath your shoulders. And just check in that your forearms are still parallel lines. There's a tendency for our hands to start to kind of drift inward and our elbows to start to kind of fold wide. And so in your dolphin pose, a little softness in your knees, lift your hips up high to the sky. Push down and forward through your forearms. And then squeeze an imaginary yoga block between your upper arms. See if you can light up that area around your shoulder blades, your lats. Here for 5. Here for 4. Keep squeezing that imaginary block between your arms for 3. For 2. For 1. Walk your feet back just enough to drop your knees down to child's pose. Let your hips find your heels. Take 3 cycles of breath. And take 2 more breaths. Maybe even a clearing exhale to let it go. And 1 more here, deep breath through your nose, fill all the way up. And clearing exhale, let's release. So we're gonna take second side of this layer and then we'll take a longer pause. So as you're ready, just take a moment to rediscover your downward facing dog. Gonna push the earth away, create the length through your arms and up into your side bodies. Relax your neck as much as possible. And start to breathe your left leg up to the sky, nice and square through your hips, through the deep stretch through your right leg. Exhale, brings your knee to your nose. Pause for your breath in. Think cat spine, push the earth away to make a window, and then step your left foot through that window to your low lunge. You might need to give it a little boost. Right knee hovers, cow lunge. Think lengthen through your heart space. Both legs go long, cat lunge. That space move into your hamstrings. When you bend into your front knee, push down to find standing splits. Root to rise your right toes to the sky. Little softness to your left knee. Take a breath in, keep your right leg long, and then start to just tap your right toes down towards the earth. Again, imagine someone's pushing against your right leg as you lift your right leg up against resistance. And 2 more, tap down. Get long and strong through your right leg, lift your right leg back up. 1 more time, tap down. Can you access the back of your right leg strength, your right glute strength as you lift? You'll step into your high lunge, right toes find the earth at the back of your yoga mat. Push through your strong legs and inhale all the way up. Let your goddess arms move and exhale through your body. And inhale, rise and reach tall to the sky again. Airplane your arms through the hinge, travel from your crown to your right hip. Push through your left foot to stay nice and buoyant through your heart. And finding that really intentional starting point, backs of your hands to the sky. Slowly circle, sweep your hands out and overhead towards your reaching crescent, trying to get that stretch from the heart space out the whole way as you energize through your fingertips. Push through your left foot and fly into your airplane pose. And steady your breath. So maybe help steady your shape. The soft step releases your right toes to the earth. Breathe into your crescent lunge. Exhale your hands down to your yoga mat. Step your left foot back, high plank pose. On your in-breath, shift forward. Exhale, slow motion, lower to your belly all the way down. Untuck through your toes. Breathe into a low, a high cobra, or an upward facing dog. Then exhale right back down to your belly. This time inhale to a low cobra. Headed to your Sphinx Pose, walk your left forearm and then your right forearm forward. Push through your forearms, lift your chest, catch your breath. Check again that your elbows are right beneath your shoulders. Forearm plank. Walk it into your Dolphin Pose. Maybe readjust your elbows. And then allow your head to fall between your upper arms. You can bend your knees a little bit to lift your hips a little bit higher over your shoulders in your Dolphin Pose. And then squeeze an imaginary block between your upper arms and between your forearms. Push down into your forearms, into your elbows. See how it feels to inhale your right leg up to the sky, hips nice and square. Exhale your right foot down to the earth. Inhale your left leg up to the sky, hips nice and square. And exhale your left toes down to the earth. Inhale your right leg up to the sky, hips stay square. Maybe use your exhale and come to your left tippy toes. Pushing your hips a little bit higher over your shoulders. Good, release back to your dolphin. So to breathe your left leg up high. Maybe start to lean into your right tippy toes, shifting slightly forward. And then release back through your dolphin. And allow your feet to walk back enough to find your child's pose. Hips to your heels. Take a moment to breathe. And slowly start to make your way just to a seat. I want to talk a little bit about forearm stand, a couple of kind of stepping stones as we're moving towards it, places that you can pause and explore, things you can work on today to take you towards forearm stand in the future. Just some things to kind of pay attention to and watch out for. So forearm stand on our forearms. One of the trickiest things is that our elbows start to kind of splay wide and our hands begin to cross at center. A certain amount of this is okay, but over time, we begin to lose the stacked joint alignment of our elbows being stacked beneath our shoulders and our upper arm bone holding us up, right? So if we can keep this nice 90-degree bend, right, like this, we can use our bones to help hold us up so we aren't muscling our way through it as much. What makes that difficult is that usually we're pretty tight in our upper bodies. So working on our shoulder mobility and space is going to help make this possible. And the other thing that makes this a little bit tricky is oftentimes our lats like to be sleepy, right? And so this idea of hugging an imaginary yoga block and trying to engage the muscles that kind of wrap around our shoulder blades is going to be helpful in maintaining really good dolphin alignment while we're moving towards our forearm stand. While we're moving to our forearm stand, there are a couple of bus stops that you can pause at. You can go back to Sphinx Pose, opening your chest, Forearm Plank, building strength, Dolphin Pose, holding Dolphin Pose. You also have the lifts that we did, and the lifts plus the tippy toe add-on. Thing about Dolphin Pose and forearm stand. If we want to be able to move towards our forearm stand, we need to be able to sustain our Dolphin Pose. So if we can't hold our Dolphin Pose for like 10 breaths in a really healthy, strong alignment, we won't have the endurance to hold our forearm stand for those same 10 breaths. So I think often what we're working on in our practice is just the ability to hold ourselves in really strong alignment in a Dolphin Pose before we're even kicking up towards a forearm stand. So where your body's at today is just holding Dolphin Pose for like 10 breaths because that's super hard. Perfect, right? I know for myself, there was a very long time in my practice that I disliked anything on my forearms, Dolphin, Forearm Plank, etc. I was like, nah, not about it. And now I love it. So the practice comes in surprising ways in different shapes, and sometimes we learn to love shapes that before were just the epitome of challenge for us in the moment. I'm going to show you a couple of kind of entrances towards the forearm stand, and you can also use a wall. So if you're at home practicing in a space that has a wall that is convenient to kick up to, feel free to use that. So I'll talk about the wall a little bit in a moment. For our forearm stand, if we have a pretty strong dolphin, we're working to lift our legs into the air. You might just start by lifting a leg and kind of coming to the tippy toe first. If you're starting to do kick-ups, you might begin to kick towards like a little donkey kick. So not even thinking about sending that second leg all the way up. You might just bend and kick. Maybe you get some hang time, yeah? Eventually you might bend, find your donkey kick, see if I can get it, and then send your leg up that way, yeah? The thing about kick-ups is they are helpful because you can use momentum. They're less helpful because then you need to catch yourself in space in that stacked joint alignment of your hips over your shoulders, and hopefully you're not banana backing and dumping into your low back. Kick-ups are also helpful when you have tight hamstrings, because if your hamstrings are too tight, you can't get your hips as stacked over your shoulders, so you'll have to kick up, yeah? If your hamstrings are tight, you do not want to kick up, and you don't want to kick up even if there's a wall behind you. You could turn away from the wall and walk your feet up the wall. So you'd be facing away from the wall and walk your feet up to bring your hips over your shoulders. So that's another way you can use the wall for support. If you have pretty open hamstrings, the benefit of that is you can start to learn to lean into your forearm stand without having to kick up. And so what that looks like is from your dolphin pose, because your hamstrings are pretty open, See how close my shoulders are, or they can even kind of get all the way over my hips are over my shoulders. Right? That helps because I don't have to go as far to get my staff joint alignment. And so if I lift a leg and come to my tippy toe, my hips are basically already over my shoulders. So then I just need to push down, engage my belly like strong, super strong, and pull in. And then slowly send my leg up. You can also do that with both legs long. Right? So again, I lift a leg, lean forward, push down, pull up. Okay? So that is nice, and that's kind of my preferred entrance because we take momentum out of the picture and there's less flinging and flailing. But that also requires a tremendous amount of strength and a huge amount of flexibility through the hamstrings, which are a particularly sticky part of the body. So, without further ado, we're gonna move through one more kind of big layer of flow while we're activate a little bit more. We'll open the shoulders one more time, and then we'll have a moment at the end of our practice where you can explore. So we'll start in a downward facing dog. Just take a moment to get there. Feel free to grab a little sip of water if you're thirsty. And then let your breath get really full again. And every inhale and every exhale has its space. Let a breath in, start to lift your right leg to the sky and stay square. Exhale to step your right foot forward to the top of your yoga mat. From here, find your high crescent lunge. Breathe in and up to the sky. With your exhalation, airplane your arms beside you right away. Circle sweep your hands out and overhead as you breathe in. This time as you lean into your right foot, we're going all the way to a one-legged Katasana slide, or just stand tall with your left leg up into your one-legged mountain pose. You flex your left foot. Take your shoulders and just let them settle into your torso. Breathe in. Then goddess your arms, elbows go wide. Let your hands fall to interlace behind you. Take your right thumb on top of your left. And your elbows can stay bent, or you can just draw your elbows together or lengthen your arms. Maybe you can lift your hands away from your hips. From here, some softness in your right knee. Begin to fly your left leg back to a bound airplane pose. Breathe here. Soften through your right knee a little bit and stand into a bound chair pose. And root through your heels, open your heart just for a moment with your in-breath. And then keep in your mind, if that works for you, hinge forward on your out-breath for your shoulder rounds. Your head fall heavy, take a big breath here. And stay for your breath out here. Releasing your hands, use an inhale to lift up halfway. Lengthen out through your spine. Exhale, Vinyasa or down dog. So this time you choose your transition, step back or flow back. If you're feeling a little bit gassed, I might say just skip the chaturanga and save that energy for your playtime at the end of practice. And we're going to take second set, and then we'll have a little bit of exploration time before we take things to the earth. And then begin to stretch out and find Shavasana. So inhale your left leg up tall. Exhale, step your left foot forward to the top of your yoga mat. Let your breath lift you to your high crescent lunge. And as your breath washes over you, airplane your arms. Circle sweep your arms into a reaching crescent, big breath in. Stand strong into your left foot, come to rise with your right leg. Take a moment to connect to your breath again. Just calibrate yourself to your standing balance. Once you're ready, start to goddess your arms. So let your hands fall to interlace behind you, left thumb on top this time. Find your chest expansion, bind with an inhale. And then fly your right leg back into your airplane legs on your exhale. So you push down with your left foot. Can you find a buoyancy through your right leg? Your torso. One more breath here. Softly step into chair pose as you bend your knees. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of your head, and exhale, dive down with your bind. Breathe in, and breathe out. Release your hands, inhale to your half lift. Now exhale just to your high plank pose, plant your hands, and step your feet back. Follow your inhale forward, knees up or down, exhale all the way to your belly. Untuck your toes, belly down Shavasana, either turn a cheek to the side, make a stack with your hands and let your head rest into the backs of your hands. Breathe into your belly. Trust the weight of your forehead into the pillow of your hands. And start to check in to see what you want to explore, what direction you want to go in. Option 1 is to stay in belly down Shavasana. Option 2 is to start to work your way up to a Sphinx Pose. You can stay here. Option 3 is maybe a Forearm Plank or up into your Dolphin. And then option 4 would be the lifts of your legs, any wall exploration, any kick-ups, any press-ups, etc. Give yourself as much time as you need to explore here. Remembering the importance of keeping your elbows hugged in. If you have a yoga strap, you can always wrap that around your biceps. If you want more exploration time here, you could also pause the video and then just press play when you're ready to continue on, yeah? So as you explore your forearm stand or your forearm prep work, any of those foundational layers beforehand like Forearm Plank and Dolphin, can you breathe nice and fully as you do so? Can you trust in the strength of your body? Can you trust in the patience and persistence of practice to get you to these bigger shapes over time? And know that the shapes are just a small fraction of what takes place on your yoga mat. So no worries if forearm stand doesn't happen this lifetime, if you're not even interested in moving to a forearm stand. Or if you can do a forearm stand, right? Because oftentimes the ability to do these bigger shapes is more than anything an opportunity for us to also do an ego check, to check in to see why do we choose to pursue and explore these big fancy poses. Is it the sensation that feels nice? Is it accomplishing something that's challenging and hard and takes time, okay? Or is it that it looks cool? That it's something that pushes us to a level beyond maybe some of our fellow practitioners. And without saying right or wrong in this, can we just check in? Yeah, check in and see what happens in the mind space and in the heart when we practice these bigger poses. Anyhow, again, if you want to pause and take more time to explore, cool. Otherwise, start to find your way to your back body. You can either just hug your knees in and relax back, or if you want to, you can find your heel anchors, lower slow, or Navasana boat pose, any variation to drop back. And just take your time to find your way to the earth. Any movement here, you can take windshield wipers or circles of your knees. Maybe you just pause in a mini Shavasana, arms and legs long. And eventually bring your hands to your right shin to draw your right knee to right shoulder and send your left leg out long. So you're in wind removing pose. Right thigh close and left thigh heavy. Breathe in. And on your exhale, find your supine twist. Right knee tips to the left and right shoulder gets heavy to the earth. Take one more inhale here. And on your exhale, unwind into a supine tree. Let your right knee fall open to the side like a butterfly wing. Let your left leg stay long like Shavasana. Maybe take your hands to your belly and find 2 belly breaths. Slowly send your right leg out long, then draw your left knee to your left shoulder so you're in winter moving pose, second side. Offer a breath into maybe your low back, filling that space between your rib cage and your pelvis. Then exhale to find your supine twist. Let your breath just navigate through your body in search of any areas of lingering tension, tightness. Let your exhale wash those spaces away into softened energy. Be like a pool of calm. And take 2 more breaths like that. Just breathing into areas of tension or tightness. And your exhale, wash that tension and tightness away, leaving you in a pool of calm. And maybe you can keep that sensation, that pool of calm with you as you unwind into your supine tree, left knee wide like a butterfly wing, and right leg just heavy on the earth. And breathe up into your belly. On your exhale, feel yourself settle in and down. You can breathe in and fill up your belly. Exhale, can you allow your belly to soften and relax as that air empties away? From your supine tree, you slowly start to send your left leg long to meet your right. Take a big full body stretch on your inhale. Bring your knees to your chest on your exhale. Feel your thighs in close. Feel your eyes drop closed. And then if they're the final shape or movement that you're craving, you can take the next 5 to 10 cycles of breath to move through any last shapes, any last postures, any organic movements that would help you to feel more balanced and complete. And you'll eventually begin to settle into your final relaxation, trusting your legs to go long, your arms to rest beside you, maybe palms face open to the sky. And whether you're settling into Shavasana now or over the next 5 to 10 cycles of breath, in this period of transition, can you become more aware of your breath? More aware of the energy that's pulsing through your body. That lingering buzz, that vibration of your practice still resonates to your muscles and bones. That reverb. And let that energy be a reminder of the hard work that you put in today. Be a reminder of the effort that you devoted to your practice. that now deserves the balance of ease as you settle into rest. Now take the next 5 to 10 minutes to yourself just to be in your body as you are. And I'll leave you here until next time. May yoga offer us a path to compassion. May our practices serve as our teachers, leading us to live more authentically, love more deeply, and see more clearly each and every day. Thank you so much. Namaste.